He's like, I am the best shooter this game, and he's saying it out loud so everyone can see. I'm like, oh my God, he's outing me at my home in front of all my family and friends. I'm the best shooter this game has ever seen.
He walked into a room full of the NBA's best shooters, and they were all just boldly fighting for second place.
You know, he got that big smile. My goal was to try to take 3 of them teeth home with me.
And as I come back out of the huddle, right, we try to take the ball out of bounds or whatever. Larry walks by and he goes.
That's pure ice-cold confidence. And when Larry Bird said it, he meant every single word. No joke, no exaggeration.
I was in the All-Star game with you when you walked in and asked who was going to get second place in the three-point contest. When you walked in there, what were you thinking when you made that announcement to the room? Just messing with all those guys like you always did?
Yeah, I didn't. Everybody's sitting there, everybody's real quiet. You really didn't. You knew the guys, but you never were around them. And nobody's really saying anything, so I walk in and look around, and it just came.
In 1986, the very first NBA three-point contest was buzzing backstage. Future Hall of Famers were stretching, locking in, and mentally rehearsing every shot, each hungry to claim the inaugural crown. The tension was electric. Everyone was focused. Everyone wanted to prove themselves. Then, the locker room door swings open, and in walks Larry Bird. No greeting, no smile. Just that trademark icy stare, scanning the room like he's sizing up targets, not competitors. The shooters freeze, waiting for a cue. Then Bird drops one of the most legendary lines in NBA history. Which one of you is coming in second? No laughter, no smirk, just pure, unshakable confidence. And just like that, he turns and walks out, leaving a stunned silence behind him. When the contest starts, Bird backs up every single word. He moves through the racks like a man who already knows the ending. By the final rack, he's untouchable. He even lifts his finger before the last shot, signaling victory early. The ball swishes through the net, the crowd erupts, and Larry Bird's ice-cold prediction becomes reality. An unforgettable moment of dominance and confidence that still echoes through NBA history.
I'll never forget, everything just started, it went in slow motion. I never had taken the ball out. That wasn't my thing, right? I throw it up, Bird sneaks in. I didn't even see him. But the thing I remember the most is that joker. This is the out of bounds line. That joker caught the ball, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, he going out of bounds. That dude did this, like a ballerina. The baseline is right up under his toes. And in my mind, he must have stood there for about 5 seconds because everything was going in slow motion in my mind, right? And it's like, I'm like, and then it's just a strange moment. I'm like, damn, how you doing that?
But wait, because what comes next might just be Larry Bird's most jaw-dropping, disappearing and reappearing act, the kind of basketball magic that still leaves fans speechless decades later. Game 5 of the 1987 Eastern Conference Finals. Stakes couldn't be higher. The Pistons lead by a single point. There are only seconds left on the clock, and Detroit has the ball. All they need is a clean inbound, a smart foul, a couple of free throws, and the game, maybe even the series, swings their way. Isaiah Thomas steps to the sideline, eyes scanning the floor like a grandmaster plotting his next move. The Celtics' defense looks tight, but Detroit is confident. They think victory is theirs. And then, in the blink of an eye, the impossible happens. Larry Bird appears on the baseline as if he materialized from thin air, a ghost slipping through a locked door. Nobody sees him coming. Isaiah makes the routine pass. Simple, safe, automatic. But Bird intercepts it with surgical precision, one fluid, uninterrupted motion, like he'd choreographed this moment in his sleep. Bird doesn't pause, not for a heartbeat. He immediately threads a perfect pass to Dennis Johnson, cutting to the basket. Johnson lays it in, buzzer trailing by a fraction. The Celtics take the lead. Boston Garden erupts into pure pandemonium. Afterward, Isaiah joked Bird stood on the baseline like a ballerina, and honestly, it's spot on. Graceful, balanced, almost serene, but under that elegance, Predator-level killer instinct. Hilariously, Bird made one of the greatest steals in NBA history look like a casual, effortless Sunday stroll, leaving everyone who witnessed it stunned and slightly terrified.
The Celtics in Market Square Arena at the time, and it was a close game, but they were going to end up winning it. He's at the free throw line. And gamesmanship and talking a little bit, I'm going to try to, throw off his rhythm, thinking I'm going to throw off Larry Bird's rhythm. And, you know, as an official goes to give the guy the ball, you know, you'll cross the lane, like, hold up, you'll cross the lane and, you know, just try to ice the shooter a little bit. Dribble it once. He's like, Reggie, are you freaking kidding me? Reggie, are you freaking kidding me? I'm the best shooter this game has ever seen. You think you're going to be able to ice me as he's talking? Next one, wah. I'm like, damn. I walk to the other side and Kevin McHale goes, yeah, that was kind of stupid of you to do something like that, right? I'm like, oh, shit. He's like, I am the best shooter this game, and he's saying it out loud so everyone can see. I'm like, oh my God.
This moment still blows my mind because if there was ever a guy in NBA history you didn't want to test in a trash talk battle, it was Reggie Miller. The man was basically a walking, talking megaphone, but rookie Reggie must have felt brave or maybe reckless that night because he decided to throw some rookie chatter at Larry Bird. Bird steps up to the free throw line with the game hanging by a thread. The arena buzzes with tension, every eye glued to him. Reggie leans in, trying to shake him with some classic rookie bravado. Bird slowly turns, locks eyes with him, and drops one of the coldest lines in NBA history. Reggie, are you freaking kidding me? I'm the best shooter this game has ever seen. No grin, no sarcasm, just pure, unshakable confidence. Bird turns back, dribbles, rises, and swish. Pure net. The ball barely kissed the rim as if it already knew better. Reggie probably realized he just barked at the wrong legend. Kevin McHale, watching nearby, didn't even flinch. He just looked at Reggie and said, that was stupid. And honestly, it absolutely was. The funniest part? The league's loudest talker got humiliated instantly, both verbally and on the scoreboard. And everyone in the building witnessed Bird's flawless verbal and literal dunk.
I always tell this story about Larry Bird. I remember him, he was cursing under his breath. And I asked him, I said, Larry, what's going on with you? He says, you guys are being disrespectful to me. And I says, what are you talking about? He says, you guys are putting a white guy on me. That's disrespectful.
Wait, who's the white guy you put on him?
I can't remember who it was. I just started laughing. I had no comeback. He says, it's disrespectful when y'all put a white guy on me. And I'm sitting there like, I'm laughing in the middle of a game.
Larry Bird's trash talk wasn't just legendary. It was a masterclass in intimidation, confidence, and psychological warfare. Sometimes, though, it went so far left that even NBA stars didn't know whether to laugh, be scared, or just nod in stunned respect. One of the funniest examples happened mid-game against Charles Barkley. Barkley, hearing Bird mumbling under his breath, finally leans over and asks, "Man, what's your problem?" Without skipping a beat, Bird fires back with a line that stops the whole court cold. "You guys are being disrespectful to me, putting a white guy on me." Barkley cracks up, thinking it's a joke. But Bird? Not even a twitch. Stone cold. He meant every word, because for Larry, this wasn't about race. It was about respect. He believed the best player deserved the best defender. Put anything less on him and you weren't strategizing. You were insulting him. And the funniest part, Bird delivered it with dead seriousness. And somehow, it was both hilarious and terrifying at the same time. That's Larry Bird magic. And Bird didn't need to yell to make a point. Ask rookie Al Harrington. Harrington shows up late one day after missing a flight, expecting a casual, "Don't let it happen again." Instead, Bird looks him dead in the eye and says calmly, "Don't ever effing be late again. No shouting, no lecture, no threats, just quiet, measured disappointment, like a dad whose glare hits harder than any scream." Harrington said it felt like being grounded without the grounding. One sentence, one presence. Bird could control a whole roster with that. Bill Walton learnt it the hard way on day one as a Celtic. Walton thought he was going to share offensive duties, maybe run plays, maybe even shine. Bird crushed that dream immediately. "Hey, I get all the shots on this team. Get your butt to the weak side and get some rebounds so I can shoot more." Walton laughed, assuming it was a joke, until Bird casually dropped 40 points that night, effortlessly, like it was nothing. When Larry drew his hierarchy chart, he didn't joke. He used a Sharpie. Then there's the rookie education of Clyde Drexler, one of the coldest first encounters in NBA history. Drexler steps up to guard Bird for the first time, polite and careful. Bird sizes him up and says, "You can't stop me." Drexler, still polite, responds, "You're very confident." Bird smirks, or maybe doesn't even smirk, and says, "Confident? argument? You're a rookie. You don't know anything. Then he goes on a 10-point offensive clinic, every shot falling, every move precise. Drexler wasn't just beaten, he was schooled. Bird didn't just play basketball, he taught lessons. Confidence, he made clear, was earned, not inherited. And if rookies weren't enough, Bird could break the toughest defenders in the league. John Sally of the bad boy Pistons, famous for elbows, fouls, and intimidation, though he could rattle Bird with Detroit's physicality. Instead, he discovered something every defender eventually learned. Larry Bird was unbreakable. Pistons defenders threw everything at him. Hard fouls, bumps, smacks, but Bird responded with impossible buckets. Leaners from the corner, fadeaways off one leg, and bank shots with two defenders draped on him. Sally admitted, "Every time I think he's out of bullets, he pulls out another clip." The worst part, Bird never reacted. No flex, no celebration, no grin, just cold, methodical execution, like he was solving an equation. Guarding Larry Bird wasn't a basketball challenge, it was psychological warfare. Every opponent left the court knowing they hadn't just lost a game, they'd been outsmarted, outplayed, and utterly humbled.
From the beginning, I wanted to be friends, but Larry didn't want none of that. You know, and so, you know, and so I said, okay, if that's how it's going to be, then we have to be like that. So I started disliking him too.
You'd think Magic Johnson, the NBA's ultimate charmer, could win over anyone. But in college, meeting Larry Bird, total mismatch. Magic, all smiles and energy, tries to chat. Bird, cold stare, no nod, no greeting, no small talk, just icy silence. Magic later admitted, "I started disliking him too." Classic Bird, unshakable, laser focused, and with zero interest in friendship. He wasn't there to make friends, he was there to dominate. Years later, after legendary finals battles, respect grew. But back then, Bird's frosty poker face left Magic, the league's most magnetic personality, utterly baffled. Hilariously, charisma met its match.
Magic was saying, "You ain't the guy, and we got other players in this gym." Don't be cheating on me. Doesn't take much to get Michael going. Just a little something to tweak him, and it's on. Magic was saying, "Look, NBA's not yours yet. You know, I'm still here." Michael's like, "No, it's over. This is mine." And the funny thing was, Larry was sitting on the side, going, "It's his."
Picture this, 1992 Dream Team practice. The greatest collection of basketball talent the world had ever seen, all packed into one gym. Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan are going at it, trading moves like heavyweight fighters, sweat flying, and intensity through the roof. Meanwhile, Larry Bird sits on the sideline, nursing his back, eyes locked on every pass, every pivot, every shot. Then, with zero theatrics and zero ego, he leans back and casually drops, "It's Michael's league now." Just like that, no debate, no argument, just pure, undeniable truth. Coming from Bird, it wasn't a slight to Magic, it was a coronation for Jordan. Everyone in the gym instantly got it. Why it's hilarious. Only Larry Bird could announce a seismic shift in basketball power with a single offhand remark delivered like he was casually reading the weather. Ego checked, history stated, all in one sentence. Larry Bird never had to joke. His icy confidence turned every moment into legend. From schooling rookies to humbling Hall of Famers, he owned the court. Which Bird moment blows your mind the most? Drop it below, smash that like, and subscribe for even more unbelievable NBA stories coming your way.